Why boxer? Because every other promoter out here is a scumbag. That's why. You know, you've got Frank Warren behind me, been lying and cheating his way through boxing for the last couple decades.
Wow.
Sued me for a couple $100,000 a few years ago, so obviously I was never going to go with him. Kalle Sauerland had me locked up in a terrible contract for the last few years, squeezing money out of me at every opportunity. Scumbag. Eddie Hearn, Frank Smith, they did everything they could to try and make this fight against Conor Benn still go ahead.
Scumbag.
Still go ahead.
Why don't you fight Hamza Sherrod, scumbag?
After knowing that they, that he was on steroids.
Scumbags. Listen, there is Chris Eubank Jr. whistleblowing scumbags. Now let's think about scumbags for a minute, right? Who said scumbags first? Spencer Farron. You know, and it's funny that I keep reverting back to the reference of Cat Williams and what he did at the very beginning of the year by saying all, lies and people will be revealed and people will be exposed and all that. The truth will be told. And it sounds like it's creeping into the sport of boxing if it doesn't and include boxing. Chris Eubank Jr., you got to give him credit for just, being a stand-up person and just saying how he feels about these guys. Now, that's his opinion on how it feels, but the truth is he said it. He said Eddie Hearn, Sauerland, Frank Warren, scumbags. You know what I mean? Meaning they made some bad decisions, but we know boxing is one hell of a sport. Now, the thing is, what happens from that? Because, Eddie Hearn, he may not take that very nicely. He may, in fact, pull a, cease and assist, right? I always get that wrong. But, throw you with a defamation lawsuit, you know what I mean? So Chris Eubank Jr. may be getting a letter soon by some lawyers, especially if he's already been sued by Frank Warren. Frank Warren may try to do that again, you know what I mean? Because they don't like guys being mouthy or being expressive on how they critique them as promoters. It's a dirty business. It really is. Because a lot of things you don't know that went down, behind the scenes. If you knew, you'd be like, oh my God, really? Did that really happen? And I'm so glad that Spence is joining us tomorrow so he can talk about more of the scumbags. But scumbags, who popped that open? Spencer popped that open, and now it's being used by another boxer, in Chris Eubank Jr. So, hey, it's crazy. It's crazy that he's saying that, I did not know he was sued by Frank Warren. I didn't know any of that. Kalle Sauerland, had him in a contract for a long time. So he's just pretty much telling it how it's supposed to say. And I think the most boldest times to say what you feel about a promoter is absolutely right now. Why? Because you have guys like Turki Al-Sheikh on the scene, which he doesn't care who it is. If he wants this guy to fight, that guy's going to fight. So I think Chris Eubank Jr. is really just, bringing things to the forefront, saying, hey, look it. These guys are scumbags. You know what I mean? This is how I feel about these guys. The public should know that I feel, based on my experience with them, that they're all scumbags. But you guys tell me what you think of Chris Eubank Jr. calling those promoters scumbags. Please subscribe, and you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.